9:04 meeting of the West Newbury Board of Selectmen. The reason I called this meeting, I just thought for the for the sake of the public to know better what's going on, and so that we can have a defined timeline for all the different bullet points of what's going on at the Page School. This meeting is being broadcast on local cable TV and recorded for rebroadcast on the local cable channels and on the internet. And if the meeting runs long, I'm in the middle of work, so left work, I'm going to have to go back. So I have to leave at 10:15, so I'm not leaving because I'm in a hospital.
Is that when the Novocaine
wears off? Mr. Anderson will take over, right?
Is that when the Novocaine wears off?
Yeah. So,
I don't see it lasting.
but I certainly hope not. Yeah. We invited as well as we invited the school committee and Dina Charter, and this Redding couldn't be here because of family conflicts, but Eddie Murphy was here. So I think that what I would like to do is simply go down the items that have been a problem at the Page School. Know who the contractor is, know who the engineer is, what the town's plan for it is, if we know what the cost is going to be, and the current status, and what percentage completion are we at. I think that just sort of basically nailing all the bullet points. I kind of was thinking about it this morning. It's kind of like anyone's watching the Olympics. It's kind of like a biathlon. We got like all these moving targets. We got to hit targets, and lots of people are running around. But we have several targets, and we've got to nail all of them.
And probably most people know this, but the reason why it was delayed and not open right after school vacation. I want to just reiterate.
Okay.
The people that don't.
Oh, right. Okay. So during the remediation, as if you've heard this before, I apologize, but during the remediation of the water damage, of some areas of when the tiles, especially the flooring tiles in a few areas of the building that had gotten wet when they were being removed, there was some issues of possible asbestos in the tiles or in the mastic, which is the adhesive that holds the tiles. So those were, and when that happens, there are federal regulations that the contractors and school systems and the town has to adhere to, and so we've been testing the air, testing the materials that were removed, and we feel we've gotten that under control. We're going to have to, as one of the things we have to discuss, the timeline on it. We're going to have to abate, which basically means sealing over these asbestos areas, and then the flooring in a few of these places will be replaced. So, go ahead.
So I think the most important thing to understand today is we're not all going to walk away here with a date that the school's going to open. So if you're looking for that, that's not going to happen today. All you're going to walk away with here, I hope, is confidence that the town is working as hard as possible and as diligently as possible to get it open. I think it was important to have this meeting today because there does seem to be having mixed messages out there. When you're dealing with a regional school district and you're dealing with an elementary school that our building is the town is responsible for the building, but then when the district manages the day-to-day of the schooling, the teaching of our kids, sometimes signals get crossed, and we've been working the best we possibly can. You've seen letters from the superintendent in the district that have come out there about some safety issues and so forth. We understand those. We're working towards those, but in no way are we going to give the building back to the district if it's not a safe building. We're hoping that we're going to, today is to secure everybody that we're working towards that, and we're almost done. We're almost there, so that's a good thing. But what we're going to do is we wanted to ensure the people that of one message, and then in future, we're going to have an open house and invite the superintendent and invite the school district, invite the parents, invite the teachers, and we're going to have a meeting like this, but we're going to have our fire department here, we're going to have our police here, we're going to have our building inspector here, hopefully somebody from the state. We're going to have our Board of Health here to answer everybody's questions if something arises. We understand the building is an old building and it has issues like the middle school has issues, the high school has issues, but for the safety of the day-to-day operation of the school, because we want to get those, we feel that it's more important, not more important, but it's very important that we get these kids back in that school as soon as possible so we don't lose a year of educating the kids. We're getting phone calls now from... In a safe environment. But that's not a caveat that we're not going to open it, you know what I mean? So it's going to be safe. It's going to be just as safe as when those kids were there before this happened, maybe even better.
Probably better.
Yeah, but we understand there are problems that we have to address, right, on an ongoing basis, because it's an old building, like everybody has to do with their own homes.
But they're more maintenance.
But they're more, exactly, but they're more maintenance problems. I was taken off my thing there. But so that's the most important thing I want to get from this meeting, that everything's going to be answered. At the end of the day, when this is done, is the Page School going to have some maintenance problems or maintenance issues? Yes, but is it going to be unsafe for the kids? No, because we think it's important to get those kids in before we lose a school year of education, because that's where I was going. Because we're getting phone calls from teachers, we're getting phone calls from parents, especially along the lines of special education, when there's services not being met. That, give you an example, one parent called me and said, hey Glenn, I'm supposed to get services 3 days a week. I'm only receiving those 1 day a week now. I'm getting nervous now because it was okay in the interim, but now it's becoming almost a long-term thing, and that's not a good solution for my child. So the district understands that, and they're doing their best because they had to take a bunch of kids out of a school and bring them and try to keep those level services. But it's important, it's almost impossible to keep the level services. We want to get the kids back into a building that was just the way it was when the water came through a sprinkler head just like that and burst. Okay? Thank you.
I also would like to say, the district did an amazing job in a short amount of time in rearranging everything.
Yep, and today, hopefully, because it's hard for us, because when we have these meetings, we have to meet all together. You know what I mean? We can't like talk on the phone about it and stuff like that. So what else I would like to get out of this meeting is that we start coordinating, which we have a little bit. They have a couple of janitors up there, but start coordinating with the district and say, hey, we're almost done up there now. There are a few things. There are floors that where we're not even touched. There are floors that are fixed. Let's start, how can we organize with you to start maybe moving some aspects into the building that are okay now, so it will shorten the time at the end, so we don't have to say, okay, it's all done, now here's the building, then they're going to say, oh, we're going to need a week and a half to get it back to normal, rather than, hey, this section of the buildings we can stop moving along and working together. That's what again, that message we want to be able to send after this meeting today to the district.
Okay, so I made like a punch list of things here, and let's see if we can, that's one of the disadvantages of being a three-person board. We can't talk about this stuff. We have to talk about it here and make decisions in a public meeting. So that's to make things a little more difficult, slow things down a little bit, but that's why we're in this meeting on Saturday morning.
And that's one of the reasons why we always thought it was good to have a town manager. So if you have a town manager in place, which is going to be starting soon, that person could be, you know, we can make the policy, and that person could be making decisions without calling a meeting 48 hours in advance, and so forth and so on and so on.
Okay, so let's talk first about there's no particular order about these. And I went through the most recent emails and correspondence to the town. The first item was let's say, not an individual order, were the holes in the ceiling. So, a couple of notes, I received, the town received an email from the engineer that was involved in some of the reconstruction of the building in 2012, and also the specifications for when the HVAC system was replaced in 2014, and those specs show that the penetrations that were done by the pipe hangers or the electrical conduit that was placed, or any of those types of material construction that was done at that time, said that the penetrations needed to be sealed as per with fire-rated materials. So that's something I'm just giving. That's what from the engineer Fitzmyer talking on related to some of those ceiling holes. Not to say that some of the ceiling holes were not there prior to that. There are there, but I just thought that we have to know that the specifications show that those should have been repaired, and some of them were not.
Do you want to speak to that? Are we going to speak to each individual? Because I bet you there's a lot of people in this room that have absolutely no idea what we're talking about. Okay. And I don't want people to leave this room with more questions than when they came in.
Okay, so what are we talking about?
You want me to speak to it a little bit? Or you want?
No.
Okay.
We have some issues. There were a few holes that were created actually by the sprinkler itself that blew off, and some of the water went up rather than down, and created holes upwards, which will be, I have to say, I don't know if they've been fully addressed, but they will be repaired absolutely as part of the water damage remediation. So those will be fixed immediately. There are other holes related to pipe hangers, like I said, air handler hangers, and those, according to what the specifications say for the work that was recently done, 2014 is not very long ago, those in some places seem like they were not repaired according to the specifications that were given by the engineer.
I think can I just? Okay. He's going to have more questions. You want to answer? You want to ask? Oh, one second.
You're going to talk.
You have to, if you're going to use it. Yeah, if you just so people can hear you at home, please. It has nothing to do with the room, and you have to talk relatively close to it. And your name?
Marie.
Hi.
Just a quick question. I read that in the paper about a week ago, and I had heard some mention of it on the meeting the other night. And what confused me is they had the HVAC project going on up there for a couple, for a while, when you'd see them. And they had the new LED lighting, but wouldn't a permit have been pulled? And how did they not see that when they closed the permit and they re-inspected it? How did they not see these issues then? And they closed it coming up this many years later.
Do you want to answer that?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a better understanding of exactly what's going on. So when we had the water destruction, okay, it came through the floor, it was actually around, it was an elbow like that burst. There was a window almost the same size, same far away as this, and the air was coming through there, it was cold. It burst something like this. It shot up to the floor above, and the pressure of it, because it's pumping so hard from down below for the sprinkler heads, it caused a hole in the concrete. Then, up in the boys' bathroom. Then the water came through the floors and then knocked down suspended ceilings. Okay, so now you have suspended ceilings that are probably around as high as this light, and then you have the original concrete ceiling around that size, okay? When they came down, when we were doing inspections of it, we noticed that there were penetrations, holes in the ceiling, okay? They don't go all the way through. There are some, and we're working on those. They've been in the building forever. When somebody runs an electric wire, they, from one floor to another, it's been going on for a long time. We've been aware of that since 2009, and our DPW has been working on it. It probably should have been at a I'm not blaming the DPW, we should have been probably doing it at a faster pace, but we're working on it, and we understand that. The building inspector understands that. That does not make it an unsafe building. It's a concrete and steel building that's a sprinkler building, and if a fire ever happened, the kids would be out of the building before anything would happen because of those things. Okay? Has nothing to do with the water, but we've been notified by the district, by the superintendent, that is, and that's what this another meeting is going to be about with all the officials to make sure that code. But hold on, I want to get to one thing. When that stuff was done, when you pull a permit, you have an engineer and you have an architect that gives you an affidavit that everything is done. That's why you have those. That's why you have an engineer that does it. So your building, they pull it with our building inspector. Our building inspector doesn't climb up in a ladder and look at every little corner when you do stuff. That's not the way the business works. You might think it does, but in industrial stuff it doesn't. You have an architect that gives you an affidavit and an engineer that gives you an affidavit that it was completed to the specifications that they gave you, okay? And that wasn't the case. So it's not the lacks of our business. I talked to the building inspector yesterday, and we're looking into this, right? We're going to follow up and make sure the people that were responsible for doing it the right way are going to do it the right way, and not the town. So it's not the lacks of the town, but when you have a specification, okay, these are the specifications we did. They put their seal on it, and these are the engineer and the architect. Yes, all this work was completed, and then he goes up there and does a cursory thing and does it. You can't pull it, you know what I mean? You can't pull everything down. So the proper procedure was followed by us and got the documentation in the certification. I think certification might be a wrong word. But we got the regular documentation from the engineer and the architect that those specifications were met. But in some cases, they weren't. And we're following up with that. So that's your answer. So you are right about the permit and stuff.
Why didn't we see it? Because
it's a suspended ceiling. And that's not, we're not using that as an excuse, okay, for other holes that are there over the years and stuff like that. We're not doing that. This is one, I'm giving you an answer about one isolated incident, because some other stuff goes back to 2012 when certain things would happen. So that's the answer to the permit problem. Everything was done on our end, but...
Okay, so let's talk
more
about
What do you have questions all along or questions?
I'd like to get through a few of these.
I mean, I think we should outline what we want to get from...
Well, I know what I want.
Okay, why don't you get through your stuff and then we'll...
I have like 6 or 8 bullet points. I want to know who the engineer is, what our plan is, and then we can discuss it. But
okay, great.
We're not going to get through it. Yeah.
Make sure it's still on.
We had a recommendation, Gary, the company called Code Red could develop a plan for evaluating the existing penetrations and come up with a plan on what to do for that. Is that the case? Did you talk with them, or what did they have to say? Excuse me?
You need to use a microphone, Gary. Sorry.
Yeah, we talked with them. In the meantime, after that, I also talked with the engineer that we're using to do some other work up there, and they have their fire engineer and whatnot look at it.
Expert.
They're more familiar with the building. The Code Red wanted detailed plans where all the holes were. We can't provide all that quick.
They're coming up on
This company-
Tuesday.
This company knows where everything is and where everything was.
So
They were
what
involved
is
in
the
design.
name of that company?
Fits my attachment.
Oh, Bismarck, okay, okay,
And they're coming on
They're
Tuesday.
coming out Tuesday to look at it.
okay. So they could develop a plan for us to address these issues?
And also the severity of the plan, of the holes themselves, whether they actually are fire stops, and if they're, you know, if it's an emergency, you need to repair them right now, because that's even questionable, you know, even though there's holes there. It's not etched in stone right now that they actually have to be repaired right now.
Okay.
This, where those holes are, above those holes, there's nothing to burn. There's concrete floor above them. There's nothing there. It's not like it's a fire that would rage up through the building. They're not complete penetrations through. They're just through the plaster ceiling where contractors throughout many years, not just now, have made little holes and they haven't been patched.
Mhm.
So what we're talking about is we have it's actually 3 layers. We have a drop ceiling, quite a large space, like about this 2.5 feet, and then the plaster ceiling, and then another little space, and then the actual concrete floor. So there's several
And that's why
different layers.
And that's why there's no, unless you physically go in every room and pull down 6 tiles and look, you're never gonna see it. You've never known those holes were even there.
And we have addressed, and the building inspector, when I met with him yesterday, Gary has addressed, when he done some inspections, there were some chases that went all the way up through that would be a dangerous thing, that weren't any barriers, and we have addressed those in the past, and we've taken care of those.
Way back in 2000, before we even started any of the renovations, way back, years ago, there was some holes there that were brought up. And I had a contract, we fixed all the holes. You can see there's been penetrations that have been repaired over the years. We did that years ago.
Okay, so Gary, what would, any idea what their evaluation would cost and how long it would take?
The evaluation is going to be around $5,000 to do that, and that will include basically coming up with a plan to fix the holes, and they'll come back after and sign off that the holes were repaired to code.
Okay. That seems like a reasonable idea.
Yep, and give us, the fact that it's not an unsafe building, that you can school children in the building. These holes do need to be fixed, and when talking with the building inspector, that and talking to the fire department, the fire chief, that as long as you have a plan in place, and if there are any critical ones, and that's the key word there, if there are any critical ones, they will be fixed. But every single hole in that building does not have to be fixed before we bring the kids back into school.
That's the goal. I can't say that for sure, but ideally I'd like to handle it the same way we're handling the electrical issue. We come up with a solution to get us through the end of the year, and during the summer we'll address the problem and fix it permanently. I'm hoping we can do the same thing with the penetration.
Okay.
So there may be a few of them that have to be done right now, and there may not be. They all may have to be. We ain't gonna know that till we get to that place.
Okay, so let's go to the next thing I saw was that from the build-ups, the people doing the remediation, the plumbing they were ready for, they've done the rough plumbing and they were waiting on the inspection. Is that correct?
That's correct. Just about all, other than the boys' bathroom, all the plumbing work is all done. The girls' bathroom's all done. I just got a couple little things to finish in that one. The boys' bathroom, all the plumbing is roughed in.
It's a lot farther along.
We were able to get they asked for an inspection, and the inspector only worked Monday and Thursday, and I got there just in time, and they were able to call him, and he's gonna come in Tuesday morning when they asked for an inspection on the roof.
Okay.
So once that roof is done Tuesday, the drywall is coming right in behind him and hang all the sheetrock in the bathroom, in that bathroom. And like a day after that, the tile guy's coming in to do the floors. All the plumbing fixtures are sitting there in the hall and ready to be installed.
Okay.
So that, the only technical issue that's holding them up a little bit is the sign off on the ceiling penetration.
Okay, all right.
So can I,
But they're gonna keep
okay.
working and go as far as they can. So that's that.
Glenn, let's get.
Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of the generator and the switch, the town has contracted with Fitzmyer at a cost of approximately $19,000 to engineer the specifications and the requirements for a new generator and a new transfer switch. And they're in the process of doing that.
That's correct.
In terms of the, Gary, what about the, mentioned it briefly, what about the other construction, the water damage construction besides the plumbing? Where do we stand on that?
Okay, the electrical inspector was up yesterday, day before yesterday, did a sign off on just about everything except the boys' bathroom, which is still limbo. So he was there, electricians are all done except for the bathroom. The painters are probably 90% done. They've done everything they can until, the floors get finished and the bathroom gets finished. That's all done, and like I said, the drywall is coming in the first to the middle of the week to do the bathroom. The new ceilings in all the rooms affected except for the boys' bathroom are all done, just gotta put the tiles in. Some of them have already.
So the grids,
grid work, that's all
the grids
done,
are up?
except for the bathroom, yeah.
Okay.
That's all done, and the electrical work, consisted of quite a bit. There was lights, they had to replace all the receptacles, a lot of stuff, speakers for the sound system, and fire protection stuff. Just about all that's just about all done.
I talked with him last week. I haven't talked with him. Well, I guess he's away. But
Who's him?
Mike, did they do a new? Did they do a fire protection test?
They actually, they were up there last Wednesday night and checked the whole fire alarm system out. I haven't heard if there's anything bad about it. And then Monday, Tuesday, the sprinkler people were there testing all that stuff. And I haven't heard anything negative about that yet. So that's all been done.
Okay, where do we where do we stand on the asbestos abatement? So what's happening with that?
They had there was a couple of questionable results, mixed results, I should say. We've had like 3-4 different companies do testing on it. School did a test, we did the test. The insurance companies done 2 tests. So they wanted to verify a couple things. So they got those results back. That's gone to the outfit that's going to actually come in and look at it and tell us what we need to do to remedy the situation.
They're called
United,
right? Or is that correct? Or?
Yeah, I believe that's what the name is.
Okay. And so when are they coming?
They're coming in Tuesday also. So I'm hoping by hopefully the end of the week we got the plan for that, and insurance can get their abatement people in right after that to either abate. I'm assuming some of them will need a little bit of abatement, and a lot of them will just be caps. 90% of it will be just a cap.
So, just for the people listening at home and everybody here, what kind of a process is, do you know what would be involved in that, or I don't. So
well, involved in the plan, what they do if they're doing abatement, they have to tape off and poly off the areas they're working in. They have to have ventilation put into the outside so nothing's going further. They have to do vacuuming, filtering, retesting after the air and stuff.
But in doing what, in removing the tiles or
during that process.
Okay.
If.
Yeah.
We don't know. I mean, we have to make sure that this is all speculation right now.
Yeah. We're hoping most of it we can encapsulate like we've done throughout the building over the years. The whole building is done that way. So,
So after we would complete the abatement and the new drywall and everything else, the plan would be, I assume, to, I think I would certainly want to see a retest of the air quality.
Yes.
And
I would agree with that, and also, when we do that test, I'd like to have the top test done, so when we say it's all set, we get another letter saying, well, you should do this test.
No,
or that
I
test.
totally agree.
I want the final test and a sign off that everything.
The TEM test, which is,
Well, that's the test for the asbestos itself.
right,
We're basically beyond that.
but, okay, but we want,
The rest will be pretty much air testing.
okay. But I believe we can do that with the air too. Okay.
Yeah, there was added other parts to that test. So they, basically when they tested, the testing company, they only needed, they tested the areas where the damage was. They really, in their mind, there was no sense of going any further, but we had them test the whole school, which is, basically the same results.
The same positive results.
Right.
Right. I would like
Positive
to
results.
reinforce that after we're done.
And as far as cleaning after the work is done, the insurance company is only gonna do 15 feet beyond the affected areas. If you want the whole school clean, that's gonna be on us of the school.
Yeah, but that's a whole different subject I'd prefer not to bring into this discussion because I don't even know what that means.
Part of it.
I understand, but I don't know what that means. So if you want to discuss it, we can discuss it.
Super vacuum and all that stuff.
Okay.
Well, the school need.
Go ahead.
No, nothing. Nope. Wait to the end.
Are we done? I believe so, yeah. So these are the issues we want to address. We seem to have a timeline, except for the abatement. We don't know. That's a little, no pun intended, that's a little up in the air. We have to see what the evaluation is before we can get a date on that.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Question?
Yeah.
You need to have a microphone, please.
Oh, yeah.
You can take that one or this one.
No, that's all right. Morning, guys.
Morning.
Thanks, Falcons. How you guys doing again?
Wonderful.
Good. So, I'd appreciate if you could hear me in my entirety, and then I'll listen to you guys in your entirety. So, what I'm hearing is, and with all due respect, none of you guys are construction guys, right? And obviously, with all due respect, Gary, I was under the assumption he was a general contractor when I was here the last time, okay? Remember I asked you that when I was standing there? So anyways, long story short, it sounds like there's a real lack of management in this process. Now, when I sat here 2 weeks ago, 3 of us that were here, we talked about non-friable massive tile in the floor, right? A small little area, probably the size of a 4x8 piece of plywood, correct? It was a small area, correct? And at that time, you guys were waiting for results. Now again, I'm here we're waiting for results. Now, it seems to me that you guys it seems to me, I'm going to say this, it's going to probably sound really
Say it. Just say it.
but it sounds like you guys are buying time for pre-existing systems here. So you guys mentioned holes in the ceiling, okay, which are, quite frankly, guys, this is a very common practice in the industry. Conduit, piping, everything goes through floors. Right? There's a fire rate assemblies, you seal the penetration, you move on. And that's a concrete deck up there. Water going up, it's just, if there's a plastic ceiling over the acoustical ceiling, you patch it, you move on. What is taking so long to patch it? I'll come down there, I'll patch it.
Okay.
Right?
What? Your
So
next
that's number
one?
one. Number two, you talk about roughing plumbing idea. Why are we roughing plumbing? This is a water leak.
Okay, next.
Water going on plumbing piping. Why are we doing? What does rough plumbing have to do? We're not doing any new construction. We're abating a water leak. What the hell are we talking about? That's
Okay.
number two. Number three, you're talking about emergency generator. None of this. These are like pre-existing punch list items that the page probably has, which I probably get. But you guys don't fail to communicate that the last time you were here. None of this was brought up,
Okay.
okay? What else? So just let me clear the air, because I have a ton of experience. Construction management, been in it for 20 years. Deal with asbestos, lead, you name it. Non-friable massing is a very, I mean, you'd have to polarize that with a selection inlet to have any concern, okay? You get a sample taken, you get a 24-hour turnaround, right? And if that's come back positive, right? You abate it, you probably encapsulate it most likely, like Gary said.
Mm-hmm.
You run air samples, you clear the area. Why is this going on and on?
Okay, next. I'm not trying to be rude, so
No,
we're trying to move you along so we can get all these answers
So you
to
got
you.
all that going, right? And then, and I don't know if you folks are all getting the information clearly, but there's definitely a huge miscommunication going on here.
Okay, you want to start answering? Well, can I take every single? I have an answer for every single one of those.
Yeah,
Are you done?
I think so.
I mean, if you're not, no, but if you're not, this is what this is for. You're not. Okay, so, which one did we talk about? Okay.
Why are we bringing up like the generator?
Okay. Oh, no, wait, I have that. Okay. The generator was brought to our attention by the school district. This was a secondary thing that happened up there, and the school district sent us a letter saying that they want an occupancy permit and they want to make sure the building is safe, and that now we have electrical problems. That electrical issue has been taken care of.
Related to the sprinkler?
No. But this is something that but because of managing the situation, and when see. What you're failing to understand, and I'm not saying that you're ignorant about this, but you're failing to understand is that we're responsible for the building, but then we have to deal with the district, okay? So I always, and I think we even mentioned this before, not because of the issue, but there's been two other ancillary things that have happened not because of this, but have been brought to our attention. The electric thing, overloaded switches and so forth and so on. And we have had our electrical, so the superintendent person, Greg Haddon, is up there, goes back, tells the superintendent we have a problem with our electrical. Superintendent sends us a letter and say it could be an unsafe condition for our kids because of that situation. We want that addressed.
And he will not allow the building to be reoccupied.
And he won't let the building be occupied until it's addressed.
And you're right, it had absolutely nothing to do with the water leak.
And you're absolutely right. We've already addressed that. We've taken care of it. There's a plan in place. That is it's an issue that we took care of during this problem. It's done. Okay? Right?
It was a pre-existing condition that
exacerbated because of the leak and because I think because the extended cold spell, and they needed, because the generator comes on, the extended cold spell, you had to work on things, the generator, the switches were undersized, so forth and so on. So let's move on. And I'm not trying to be rude, that's taken care of. But that's something that we have to deal with, because we're getting letters from the superintendent saying, now that the kids are out, I'm not going to let them back until that electrical thing is fixed. So you understand? So it becomes a problem.
And the same thing with the ceiling.
Yeah, and then I'm going to get to that.
Right,
And,
you guys said exactly, you bring it up, Dave. No. Are you just hearing about it now, or?
No, hold on, no, absolutely not. No, you taking him out of context. We didn't bring it up that it was a problem, the superintendent did. That's what he meant about bringing it up. We've been bringing up the electric issue all along. At our last meeting, I said we have 3 problems that we have to deal with up there so our kids can get back in. Okay? We have I just call it the destruction because of the water leak. Okay? The electrical problem that was brought to our attention by the superintendent and said, you have to fix that. You have to fix that or I'm not letting the kids go back in. Then the holes that we found in the...
Okay, what are the next of the book?
No, then the holes that we found in the ceiling, and he said we have to address that or I'm not letting the kids back in. Okay? So 2 separate issues that weren't related but are combined because they were found out because of the whole situation. Okay, that's what we're trying to manage here. So we're trying to manage. Now, you talked about testing and about results. You're absolutely right. That's why we're absolutely out of our minds about this, because we go on one track and get our testing down there. All of a sudden, the district gets their test. They do a testing. Then the insurance company does a testing. Now we have 3 different tests with 3 different results. Okay? Okay, so there's too many cooks in the broth. So the district does some tests and gets different results than our test. And it's like, then it's almost like you have to start all over. You don't think that's banging our heads against the wall? It's driving us insane and keeping me up at night. Okay? So now that's what our problem is up there. Okay? And then you talked about buying time. We're not buying any time. I want the kids in there tomorrow. Okay, so I'm on Monday. Okay, we don't want to buy any time. We're trying to take care of a situation and then take care of letters we're getting from the superintendent saying that if you don't address these issues, I'm not going to let the kids back in the building. That's our problem. It's said, I've been trying not to like blame anybody. I'm not blaming anybody, but that's the problem that we're dealing with. We're dealing with trying to take a situation and then getting almost every other day getting a letter from the district saying, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, or the kids I need an occupancy permit, I need this. It's driving us absolutely insane. Okay? So now I'm going to sleep better tonight because I just got it off my chest. Yeah?
So let's keep going.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, the ceilings, we're addressing that. I agree with you on that. But listen, but
what does that mean? Like,
but listen.
Gary. So I mean that could be happening right now. You go plaster a ceiling.
No, it can't.
No, hold on. No, sir. I assure you, we have to deal. Okay, again. We have to deal with because of the situation. Our building inspector's already gone up there and looked at it. He's talked to the state. He's talked to other building inspectors. Because it's where it is and what we're doing, you have to get a certain inspection or an engineer to do it. We're not lying to you.
No, that's fine.
We're not lying to you.
All day.
Yep.
Someone's got to sign off on this at the end of the day. I understand. It's all about liability at the end of the day.
Yep.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
So all right. So no clarity with that piece.
Okay, hold on. But we're working towards that. I'm not.
But this was a problem that literally, it was sort of an ongoing problem from 10, 15 years ago. And
it's getting worse because
every time something
you
is
have,
done.
yeah, you have to remember too, we're not the only ones working on that building. The district works on that building also, okay? And you have suspended ceilings. So when you have an electrician up there doing something, if the district's doing it, are they making sure that's happening? We already know that when we did the HVAC problem and that engineer signed off on all the specs, but it all wasn't done, now we have to address it because, you don't understand?
The engineer signed off on it. I mean,
so what?
As a selectman, I really can't overrule them.
So what the problem, this is it right here. You know what the problem is? We have an old building. We had a water leak, okay? We're taking care of that. And now a district has now put a microscope on our building and said, we want all these other things fixed now before we let your kids back into the building because they're already out. And we keep on saying we're fighting for our kids and saying that it is a safe building. Yes, we do have problems, just like the high school has problems. And if you hold the microscope to the high school and our middle school, the same way they're holding it to our elementary school, those two buildings will be closed also. And that's why we want to have that bigger meeting and invite everybody. Invite the superintendent, invite the teachers, invite everyone who wants to come, and we'll all stand up here and we're going to guarantee that it's a safe building for schooling. Is it perfect? No.
Okay. So Glenn, that's fine. I don't want to keep going.
No. But you know what I mean?
So these other issues like plumbing, rough plumbing, and all that stuff, so that's just all.
Oh, okay. So the rough plumbing, sir. Okay. That was a major devastation. I don't know if we have pictures or not. It blew all the fixtures, and all the fixtures came off the walls in that boys' room.
So sprinkler pipe and
that thing?
Hold on.
Yep.
I mean, with all due respect, like
Yep.
sprinkler pipe and domestic water are two different systems altogether. Did the plumbing piping, the water first? That's sprinkler.
No.
The sprinkler pipe was fixed 2 hours after the leak.
Okay, so what's the plumbing? Two separate.
No, sir. It happened in the boys' bathroom. No, it happened in the boys' bathroom. I know, but I'm trying to tell you. No, hold on. Let me explain to you. It happened in the boys' bathroom. The boys' bathroom was devastated. That means the urinals and the wall were taken off, the toilet. So it was brought back to stud. That's what happened.
Okay, so you pull all the fixtures, you took all the drywall off, you took all the fixtures off.
We had to.
Yes.
Yes.
All right,
It was brought back to stud, and now because of that, the insurance adjuster said, I don't want you to put those old ones back in.
Understood.
We're gonna pay for new ones. So that boys' bathroom, but okay.
Yeah, we're good.
But no, we're not good. We're not good because this is when you told me not to interrupt you. That boys' bathroom is not. That was the ground zero. That boys' bathroom being open or not is not going to stop the occupation of the school because there was a plan in place by our Paul Savigny, Greg Haddon, and Dustin, the principal, to open up that school on the next Monday. Okay? Okay, but hold on. And that bathroom wasn't going to that boys' bathroom wasn't going to needed to be used. Okay? So that is the floor where the kindergarten floor is, and both in the first grade, both kindergarten classes have bathrooms in them in the school. In their classrooms. The girls' bathroom will be open, right, and done brand new. And then there is another bathroom going towards the kindergarten class on the left-hand side that I think staff uses. So that was good with Dustin in the plan to let the boys go there, and if it was a real big overflow, they could go in, to get the kids back into school, okay? So when you say about the boys' bathroom, I wanted to make sure, because we keep on saying, oh, the boys' bathroom's not done yet. That's not going to stop opening up the school because, and we've talked with our building inspector and our Board of Health, and they would allow a temp, you know what I mean, because there's so many bathrooms you need with so many kids. If they know it's going to be fixed and you do have some other alternatives, that's not going to preempt opening the school because we don't have a boys' bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to make sure that, because you're right, we keep on saying the boys' bathroom's not done, it's not done, but that's not going to be, the issue.
Think of it as like a couple of gallons on the floor.
Ceiling, electrical,
It was
testing.
30,000 gallons in
No,
this
I-
room, so walls came down and all, yeah.
So I want to talk about the management aspect of it, okay? So we own the building. We're managing it the best we possibly can. Remember, with an insurance adjuster and with a contractor, that the insurance adjuster picks because they're a pre-bidded, pre-bidded contractor because of state things. You have, if we did it our way, we didn't do it through that way, we'd have to go out to bid, we have to get an RP, we'd have to get a request for a couple of months. So this was the fastest way to possibly do it in that respect, okay? So we're managing the thing, okay, as best we possibly can. And then all of a sudden we get a letter from the district. I want to check the holes. We get a letter, we're doing our own test, it doesn't match your test. The electrical thing. So that's where we're trying to go this way, and we're taking shots this way. Are they good shots or bad shots? I'm not sure, but they're shots that we have to take care of, okay, because the underlying thing on all those shots is, I'm not going to let the kids back in the building until you do this.
So, all right, so based on...
That's the problem.
Yeah, no, understood, I appreciate that. Based on all the information you said, right, and I know you're not going to give us any hard dates when we all leave here today, but you guys got to have some sort of a sense, right, Gary? You got to have some sort of a ballpark idea of when these kids are going to be going back to school.
Well, no. You know what? Hold on. You know what a better answer is? No. You know what a better answer is to that, sir? We'll have a better understanding when we're going to give the safe school back to the district, and they're going to hold on, and they're going to tell you when your kids are going back.
Okay, no, that's fine. I'm just talking, guys.
You know what I mean? No, but I mean,
I'm not trying to...
no, but I want to make sure everybody understands that.
Give us a ballpark. Are we going to be here another 2 weeks and we're going to be going, all right, well, we're still waiting on results and this and that. I mean, you guys got to have a clear picture, somewhat, right? You guys are managing this process, right? You must have a ballpark.
We're almost there.
Okay.
Listen, but no, we're almost. If you go up to I'll take you up there tomorrow if you want to go up there. We walk around. We're almost there. And all kidding aside, Tuesday, because of everybody getting different results, right?
Yeah. Tuesday
is going to be a big day because that's when the abatement guy comes in and reconciles all the results and then tells us really what's going to happen. You're in construction. You know that could be awesome. Nothing can happen. And just encapsulate that. Put the whole new floor over. Boom. We'll be open in 2 weeks.
Regardless of all that, exactly. It's a quick remediation. Okay.
Yep.
Thank
No,
you.
I agree.
Good morning. I'm Andy Murphy, chairman of the school committee. just for a point of clarification, so in the regional agreement, there is a clause that identifies when it is okay to close an elementary school. And
Can you speak close to me, because I think people are going to want to hear this.
And the clause states, I don't have it in front of me, but it states that these schools will stay open except in case of emergency, and emergency is defined by the school committee. So, you know, when I hear about all the different competing punch lists and tests and everything, that's all fine and good, but from the school committee standpoint, what we need to understand is when is the emergency over, and based on the regional agreement, when the emergency is over, the school is ready to be reoccupied. So this discussion about repairing pre-existing nits and nats is sort of irrelevant to that discussion. It's when is the emergency over? And I think that's what we're going to be looking, you know, to your guys, professionals, to articulate. And ultimately, this can even be decided by a vote of the school committee. So this doesn't necessarily need to be, you know, people butting heads and just keeping the place closed. The school committee does have that authority.
School committee has the authority to vote to end the emergency. When the school committee does that in our regional agreement, two of the three West Newbury representatives need to vote one way. But it has to be unanimous. But it's a weird thing that two of the three So the school committee, after we're done with the emergency, the school Andy Murphy, who is a West Newbury representative.
If we're in a situation where we have to vote on whether.
Yeah, if we have to vote on it, hopefully we don't, that the school committee can vote to end the emergency and then allow our kids back in the district. I shouldn't have brought that up. In our school district, you have to have, each town has three, and this provision is for obviously all the elementary schools in the district. 2 out of the 3 representatives from that particular town dealing with that elementary school has to vote. So if we wanted to vote to end the emergency, 2 of our 3 have to vote yes. It's just.
So I have a question for Andy. So to clarify the regional agreement, it's not a vote of the school committee?
It's a vote of the school committee.
It's a vote of the school committee, but within that.
Saying 2 different things.
No, it's a vote of the school committee, but within that vote, 2 out of the 3.
Yeah,
within that vote.
Qualifications in the vote.
Yep. Yep. Hold on, Jen. Because when you talk back here anyway, you're not on camera. You're welcome.
Just to follow up on what Andy was talking about, how does that tie into the superintendent saying that he needs a certificate of occupancy? I've been trying all week to get in touch with the building inspector.
Yep.
I didn't want to speak for him, but what I'm hearing is the building inspector says the town does not need a certificate of occupancy. It already has a certificate of occupancy on that building. And when I talk to the superintendent, he repeatedly says he is required to have a certificate of occupancy before the kids can go back. It's a confusing situation. Now I'm hearing Andy say it doesn't matter what the superintendent says if the school committee votes. Where are we at?
So what I've been told by our building inspector, the building has a certificate of existing occupancy permit. That happens with an inspection every August or whatever it is in August before the school year starts. The fire department, the building inspector goes there, inspects the building, makes sure, it meets all it doesn't do things like the holes and stuff like that. It goes through the building and makes sure that it's safe. So it already has one. So the process that we're being told by the state and by our building inspector is it has a building of occupancy. It already has one. So then something happens to it, okay? Permits are taken out to fix those things that have happened to it. As soon as those permits are signed, are closed, it's good to go.
So it sounds like
The reconstruction.
you feel like this will be cleared up with the superintendent when you have that open meeting? Because you're saying 2 different things.
Well, listen, I can't, I have a hard time even speaking for myself, so I don't know what he's saying, right? So all I'm doing, right, every day and every night, in probably 4 or 5 hours a day, coming home from work early is trying to get the kids back into the paid school as early as possible.
I heard it, no, but what Glenn said about the building inspector's comments are exactly what he told me.
So I can
he
report
will
that the
sign,
building
in other
inspector
words,
saying
like,
that.
if we had to fix a window and then he signed off on that window is fixed according to the plan and we have an existing certificate already. That's what he told me.
So I think the question, Jen, would be to ask the superintendent, right, where he is getting that information, chapter and verse from any state code or any, fairy tale.
You don't believe that it's there.
No. It's not that I don't believe anything, or I do believe anything. All I'm being told by the experts up until this point, and that's all I can possibly make my decisions on, is that we have an occupancy. I think he might be confusing matters, so to speak.
Have you guys asked him that question?
We've asked him multiple times about multiple things. Okay, and so if he has this is the best message that could come out of this meeting. If he has stuff, okay, that backs up any of that, right? Please send it to us, okay? Or come to our meetings and talk to us about it so we don't keep on getting letters about new things all the time that kind of set the train off the tracks from trying to get our kids back in the building. So that's the thing that I would ask. That's the message.
Do you have any idea when that open house is going to be?
Hopefully, we're going to, after we hear from Tuesday's a big day, obviously, for us. After that, we're going to announce it. It will definitely be in the next week or two.
Okay. And just two more questions, and then I'll give this back.
It has to be after Tuesday.
Can I just clarify that what you're saying, and I want to make sure I understand it correctly, you do not feel that there is, if there is any fire code issues with those holes, they will be addressed?
Correct.
And then if things are not addressed, it's because they've been determined not to be a fire issue against the fire code.
Well, that's,
They're just holes that.
well, yes, in the
You're
sense.
going to fix them, but they're not a fire issue for the.
Well, and everything's an issue, right? But what we would do, which we already have done, right?
I hear you. But as long
That's a great way of
as long
saying.
as it's not against the code, that's
Right.
what I want. That's
Well,
what you're saying.
yes, but yes and yes. But I mean, it's not, nothing's going to be against the code, okay? So when you look at a situation, okay, and you say, should you have that hole there, any hole, a hole in the wall, and you say, no, you shouldn't have that hole there, okay, due to Mass General Code, whatever, okay? But if there's a fire in this building, fire chief, would that hole be detrimental to our kids and more hazardous? No, Glenn, because it's a sprinkler building, we have a plan, there's no way that that's going to hurt, enhance any more danger if there is a fire here. So when you say a code, having that crack right there is probably against code. I have no idea. But is it bothering, but you know what I mean? Is it bothering having the meeting?
Plan is to say, this hole over here is also against code, and there's a fire stop issue. So
Without a doubt.
and that would be fixed.
Without a doubt. But one thing what that means is going to be is the fire department is going to be standing up here, our building inspector is going to be standing up here, and they're going to answer those questions point blank to the superintendent if he wants to come, to the school district, to our teachers, to everyone who wants to do it. And you know what I mean by that? So, but see, it's an important thing, right? We all understand it's not a perfect building, okay, right? And we're working towards that. But a few holes here and a few holes there, when we're secured from our building department and our fire chief that it's not a danger, okay, because of this, you have to look at the totality of the building, right? I think it's more important, personally, to try to get those kids in as soon as possible, right? Rather than patching a hole in a corner that's really not going to matter. Because we're almost, we're almost losing a school year for these kids. Just think about that. My kids are out of school. Huh?
A school year in their building.
Yeah, but just think the quality of education. Okay, think the quality. I mean, I know, and I'm going to give the superintendent, in the district, props. They're doing the best possible thing that they can. But we all know that our kids aren't getting the best quality of education because they're not there. The quality of life for all the families and them getting up early. That, it's kind of fun. The first 2 weeks, you know. But you know what? It's a real, yeah. No, but I was kind of being facetious. You know what I mean? But, so that's the question. That's the most important thing we need to come from this meeting that we're working.
We'll work with, and then I'll hand this back. I just want to be clear because I read the report from the asbestos guys, and what I think I heard Joe say, or maybe it was Archie, is that problem has been taken care of. What I read,
What problem?
I'm not an expert by any means on this stuff, is that there was testing that was done that could sometimes give a false negative.
Okay, can I address that, please?
Yes, and my question is, they recommended further testing.
Okay,
So
listen.
clarify that, please.
I want to clarify that. Okay, we got the testing back. We all thought it was great news. We gave a letter. We gave a letter to the superintendent because we thought it was great news. We gave the backup material because we were just being good. Okay, but that's almost a form letter. That wasn't particular to the Page School that it false positive. That's like a form letter. That's like a when you have a business, you give all your stuff to a lawyer, and the lawyer says, okay, you need to have to, it came back negative, but you have to have this form letter afterwards saying, read the fine print, sometimes false negative, sometimes this, you have to have retesting, blah, blah, blah. That's what that all was. That wasn't particular to the Page School. That stuff is the same on everything when they do testing. We thought, and then all of a sudden that became the focus. Right? The form letter became the focus, not the good news that it was all negative and we could move forward. That's the problems we're dealing with.
So you don't, is it correct to say that the selectmen don't feel that further testing of a different kind is necessary to rule out anything?
Jen, we're not...
No, I hear what you're saying about form letters, but there's a reason why they put it in there too.
Jen,
yeah. We're going to test after the remediation, absolutely.
The same testing that was used beforehand?
We're going to ask our professionals that are coming in on Tuesday, when they have that particular plan, they're the ones who are going to tell us exactly what to do, and we're going to follow that procedure.
Okay.
I don't know how...
I thought you were using the same group. Am I wrong about that?
No.
You're not using our...
Yeah, we are.
You are. So if they come back and say you need... Because that's what I thought they were recommending. But you're saying... This is a form letter and it's whatever. So if they come back and say you need further testing...
We're going to do everything, Jen.
Absolutely.
No. We're not going to do that. What Archie mentioned earlier, we're going to even do more. Okay. Because even the state health guy and I...
Test areas that we're not involved.
We already have. We've had 6 air quality tests throughout the building, and they all came back good. Jen, the state health guy, too, which we're going to do, which is not recommended, the state health guy said, hey, I want to come back and test the building when there's kids in it.
Right. It's different.
Yeah, and that's not even in this kind of stuff, in which we're going to do.
But for other reasons.
Yeah, but, yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Morning, thank you. My name is Ray in office. Just 2 quick questions, and Andy, this might be for you. You mentioned that the school board would be functioning within quote-unquote emergency or when the emergency would happen. Could you maybe explain to us a little bit what the scope or definition of an emergency is from the school committee's perspective? Glenn mentioned that the generators and other items may be added. Is the emergency quote-unquote being expanded each time something is added, or are you functioning within a parameter? 1 second. And then to move a little bit forward, and this may have been addressed in other meetings. If I missed it, I apologize. Can you speak upon the financial impact? Safety is important, don't get me wrong, asbestos is all very important. But is there a percentage for which the insurance companies will be covering the expenses and or above and beyond what we saw in the boys' bathroom? And then is there a percentage that the school district will be picking up? Is there a percentage that which town will be picking up? In a very general sense.
We have a $10,000 deductible. The town has a $10,000 deductible about anything that deals with the building. The school district with the contents, we don't own any of the contents. The school district has to deal with their insurance company on the contents of the building.
So above 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
And regarding the definition of emergency, so that's interesting because if this played out to a vote, it would be up to each school committee member to make a determination as to whether or not we're still in a state of emergency. I can say from my perspective, you know, you can go through any school in this district and find an amazing number of problems that need to be fixed. That's why we have a building project going for high school and middle school. So you could go through page school from now until the end of time and find more things wrong with it, I'm sure. So to me, the way to define an emergency is the damage that was done from this initial incident, getting it remediated to the point where the school is safe and can resume something very close to normal operations. And I'd say that only like maybe a bathroom needs to be closed or something.
For a short period of time.
Exactly. But things like we need to upgrade this or we need to fix that, those problems have been there forever. And sure, they should be fixed, but to me, those could be fixed over the summer or times where you're not going to disrupt school. So to me, it's let's get people's lives back to normal as quickly as possible. Good question.
Can I ask a question of Andy, please, when he's talking about emergency? Can I ask a question about Andy? Now, so did the school committee? You might want to keep it over. Did the school committee take a vote to close the elementary school?
No, actually, that was a discussion between me and Dr. Mulqueen.
And can you tell me what that conversation was, please? Why he closed the school? Why he told you he closed the school?
Well, initially, so we initially discussed the water damage, and at that point it was unclear, when the school would be able to reopen. Could have, been a few days. Could have been what we're in right now. The subsequent conversation I had, and apparently Glenn Savigny was in the room with them too when this happened. He called me on the phone to explain the black mold situation to me. So upon hearing that, it seemed, just thinking of our history in other schools around here, well, the damage, which was substantial, plus the mold, in my mind, meant we needed to do something to get the kids out of there so we can fix the situation.
So we all
did not have a formal school committee vote on whether or not it's an emergency, because I think in this case it was pretty clear it was an emergency. We didn't need to drag it out and define whether or not, because we needed to get the relocation plan in place as quickly as possible, so at least kids could be back in school.
So just for the record, Paul Savigny was in the room, but he absolutely was not part of that conversation one single bit. Him and I had this conversation yesterday. So he was in a room, a room, but he was on the other side of it when he was talking to Andy and did not know about the conversation. So you could say the emergency was that we had to close the school because of the black mold, and in our Board of Health said that it should never have been closed because of that, and that situation is taken care of itself, obviously.
I think the water damage was another question. I mean, was it an emergency? Was it not an emergency? It seemed most people agreed that the best way to fix it would be to get the kids out of there. So, but
the best way, but not.
In my mind, the mold was what made it a no-brainer. That's what I said. Yeah.
But it's important to understand that when a question is sent to you, should we close the school and get the kids out of it? Would that be the best way of taking care of the damage? And our Paul Savigny and whomever else was in the room said yes, but not necessary. There was a plan in place to be back operational that Monday. But obviously, it is better. Yeah, but I want to make sure that no, I'm not rehashing anything. I want to make sure that everybody understands it, because everybody looks for us for answers, and they don't have them. And at this point, we have to tell the truth. Now, if the truth is going to get certain people irritated and we're going to get letters again, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. I'm done. As you can tell, my frustration.
Wait, don't go anywhere. You have
Okay.
questions for you too. Sorry. Can I go back? I'm Kelly Whitsom.
What's up?
So I just to clarify what you said about the school committee vote. and please understand, I know what you and Chris and Dina go through all the time, and I know how dedicated you are to this. So this is nothing I can do. I just want to know when the vote is taken. So it's the full school committee. I get the 2/3 of the West Newbury contingency needs to vote, but the rest of the school committee gets a vote in this as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Regional district.
Yeah.
And then you have to figure out how it needs to go, because West Newbury's vote only counts 0.8.
That was going to be my next question.
But let me be clear, I would hope that we have an open session where we talk about everything, that vote will not even be necessary. I would hope by the end of that night, we can have some sort of framework for how we can move forward.
And again, I thank you for having this meeting because it's answered a lot of questions. And maybe this is a question that nobody in this room can answer. Why is Dr. McQueen not here? If he is sending these letters and causing these delays and making this a bigger deal beyond the emergency, why is he not here to answer to these questions?
I'm not
Does
sure.
anybody know why?
With respect, you know my frustration.
I know.
But I have to be.
I know.
But I have to be truthful. I honestly don't think he was formally invited, and we're not saying that we did that deliberately. I don't think we invited him. I think this was more of a town thing at this point, and then we're going to have the bigger one with all of our inspectors here and so forth, and of course he would be invited. So I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know if he knew it was happening, because, you know what I mean? So out of respect to him, I have to be truthful about everything. I don't know, and he was not formally invited, and we didn't think that was the form. It was more of a town thing.
We were trying to help get us all on the same.
See, we have to have meetings to do this.
We have to talk in these public meetings. That's how we.
And I think it was.
It makes decision making slower and harder, but that's the rule.
And I think we wanted to have this because Tuesday night we had a meeting, and Gary came in with some information and said, "Listen, all these new things have come in," and it's like it was all new to us, and we're like, what the heck? And so we had to digest that, get more information, and then be able to have a meeting today to see if we had to vote on anything to proceed to make it go as fast as possible. We didn't want to have to wait until our next Selectmen's scheduled meeting.
No, and I completely appreciate that. I feel like I think where a lot of the frustration from the parents is coming from is we get all the safety issues. We thank you for caring that much, to be honest. My concern is that
You have to leave.
the communication that comes from Dr. McQueen or from the district, the communication that comes from you, it seems contentious. I'm not gonna lie, it seems contentious and it seems very it's not coordinated. And the communication we're getting from the school is frustrating.
Well, to us too, and we're not sure why that's happening.
Thank you all for coming. I unfortunately have to leave.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
So, hold on, Archie. We had a few other things on the agenda. You had any questions on any of the other things we have to vote on?
No, I spoke to Joe about the grant situation.
Perfect.
Glenn, can I just say something to that?
Mm-hmm.
So I agree that there is clearly conflicting tones to how things are happening on each side, and I think it's important. The way to get around that is to get everyone sitting in a room, everybody, and to talk it through. So it's on social media or email, everyone tends to bang their chest and be a lot nastier than they would be in person. So I would hope that with everybody in a room together, understanding that we've got hundreds of parents and kids who need to get their lives back to normal, that we can sit in the annex or whatever, go through everything, answer that fundamental question: are we still in an emergency or not? And if we come to the conclusion we're not, get the school back open. That would be my goal. So what's happened to date is whatever. I think that's the path forward, though. So
Without a doubt. That's why we want to have that meeting.
Okay.
We have to leave our personalities and leave everything at the door and do the best we possibly can to get the school open as fast as possible to get these kids back normal. And I promise I play very well in a sandbox. I take up a lot of the sandbox, as you can tell, but I promise I'll play nice because The most important thing is to get the kids back. So, yeah. You need to talk louder. I can't hear you at all.
Is there going to be a consolidated timeline published of all events? And like you were saying, Glenn, like you received X from the superintendent, and he said that he and Dr. McQueen met on the 2nd January. Like, because it definitely feels like there's still some open holes, but that a consolidated timeline might help to close those holes as well as provide a more accurate base for conversations going forward.
Well, we did have a consolidated timeline that was going to give the school back over to the district, and so that it could be open Monday. But when those tiles came up and that mastic, no matter what you want to say, we have to follow things. That threw everything off. So after Tuesday, we're hoping to have that, because Mitch is right. You just do a project at your house. You know, when this is done, that's done, and you only have this much to do, and the guy's scheduled in on Thursday, and that's going to be done. You know, it's all going to be done. So that's what our frustration also, and hopefully Tuesday we'll have that. But what's important too is I want kind of parallel timelines where, hey, there's a lot of that building that's already done. So let's get the district in there, or if there's cleaning that needs to be done that I just found out about today, right, and stuff like that, that we start doing that in unaffected floors, so we just start working towards it with parallel things. So we're going to start working that on Monday, and we're going to talk to hopefully a candid conversation with the district saying, hey, listen, what's going on? He keeps on asking for this occupancy permit, and I think his reason is that he wants a safe building, because you can't get one if you don't have a safe building. But I think he's doing it around. It's going to be a safe building, and it's going to be, we already have an occupancy permit.
I think that's an answer to a slightly different question. Like, I'm less concerned about how the rest of the script plays out going forward, and more about what's happened over the past, 8 weeks. Like, so I'm making up the date on December 31, pipe burst, right? On January 1, Andy and Dr. McQueen meet. On January 2, they decide it's a state of emergency and that we need to relook. I mean, I think having that, on February 15th, Glenn receives a letter saying that the generator needs to be fixed before occupancy will be allowed by Dr. McQueen.
Well, I understand that. We can try on that, but this is every single communication dealing with Page School.
Right, and I guess what
so we can try that.
I mean, I would.
But what reasoning? What reasoning? Just for.
Well, I mean, it's accountability, right? You have IEP commitments not being met. This is only the beginning of the real problem that is to come, right? And I think from a board of select perspective, you want to be able to say that, like you've said many times, like you had a plan to be on there January 5th, then decision for me that made that plan not work, and for better or worse, right? But
we have that. We have that information. We don't have it on like a calendar like that, what you're saying, but we do have that in a timeline that shows when things certain happen. We have all that documentation. That's part of it.
I guess I'm just requesting a copy of that. And I think you're going to find a lot of people want that, because getting the kids back in the building is one thing, kind of making sure that something like this never happens again is another thing. And if there's commitments that aren't being met, like you're going to have some people pursuing other means of kind of righting that ship. And just from whether it's for you guys, whether it's for the board, whether it's for Dr. McQueen, whether it's for the guy who turns the lights on at the Page School, like having that is going to be a big part of the next discussion, which says, how did this thing get so messed up?
Yep. Okay. You understand that?
Hi, Ryan Goodwin, 1 Colby Lane. Just one comment. Is one of my takeaways from this meeting that this board feels that McQueen and the superintendent is leveraging the pain point of the school closing to facilitate needed work on the school?
What would give you that idea? I'm not sure.
And then the second one, a question, what does it take to generate an occupancy permit? What's the process? That's
a good question, but If you want an exact thing, honestly, I can't give it to you, but I can get that for you on Monday, or just call the building inspector on Monday.
Generated by the town.
The building.
Oh, yeah, the building inspector.
So
Yeah.
Rather than this back and forth.
There's a little piece of paper somewhere in this building, like if you go into the annex, it says an occupancy permit, you only can have 242 people standing, you only can have 240 people standing, 700 people sitting, it's weird stuff like that. But it's generated from the building department.
From my perspective, this seems like a trivial matter. If he needed an occupancy permit dated February 24th, 2018, and you're saying, we don't need to do this. No, but I need one. No, but we don't need to do this. No, but I generate the damn occupancy permit.
Right.
It seems like a very trivial matter here.
Well, no, okay, but I wish it was that easy. But then he won't accept I can't speak for him. But it's not as easy as you say, because we already have one in place. So then if you generate a new one, then he's going to say, how could you give me an occupancy permit because there are 3 holes on the second floor behind a tile that you take down that, you know what I mean by that? So
Would that be the building inspector's call? Or yours?
it's a building inspector's call. Well, that's why, see, but see, it's hard. See, when you're going in one direction, okay? When you're going in one direction, and now, okay, one thing I think we should say is that I just call it the water devastation. Just call it that, the water problem that we had. Okay, that's still going on, and if it wasn't for the taking up of the tiles, that would be done. Okay, and that's still going on. So the other stuff isn't really slowing that one down. Okay. But I think our fear, okay, is when that's done, all the other stuff will be the reason why the kids can't come in. That's our fear at this point. Do you understand what I mean by that? So we're still going forward, and we've had some bumps in the road with the Massachusetts as we talk, because we get tested this way, then all of a sudden the school district comes in and does their own test, and then somebody else, then the insurance, that's the only thing that's kind of slowed it down. The other stuff, we're worried that, like Gary goes, I'm getting this done, Glenn, I'm getting this done. I have a timeline, I'm trying to meet it, but I'm getting this letter, that letter, this letter, that letter, this letter. What do you want me to concentrate on? I'm trying to get this water thing taken care of. And what we've finally said is, what in this meeting is, we want the water thing taken care of. That's it. The electrical was just an ancillary thing that didn't take any time, but we took care of. Do you know what I mean by that? Because of the cold. That would have probably happened, that electrical thing would have happened if the water break didn't break, because it was so cold and it was generating a lot of, those switches needed more energy going through them. Whatever the technical terms are. And those failed. And that's it.
So the inspector fears.
No, not the inspector fears anything. I fear. Gary fears. Okay, I'm not going to,
why we can't generate an occupancy permit? Is it because of the island?
we have hold on, no, time out. There is an occupancy permit. We have to stop we have to get our eye on the ball. There is an occupancy permit from that building. Okay? So that's like just saying,
Dr. Mulqueen and nip this in the bud. I mean, he says he doesn't accept it. Say, here's your occupancy. Take it or leave it.
Give a new one.
Stand firm and say, here it is. I'll give it to him if you want.
okay, good luck. When you, listen, when you have a house, when you build a house, you have to get an occupancy permit from your house. Okay, when you build a brand new house, okay? When you put a new kitchen in, do you need a new occupancy permit? No. Well, he's asking for me to lose 150 pounds. That ain't going to happen either, because it's just impossible. He can ask for 1,000 different things, but if they're not real, we can't give them to him. So we'll give him a new occupancy permit, but we can't give him an occupancy permit. You know why we can't give him an occupancy permit? Because it's not the devastation's not done yet.
So you're counting on the school committee to vote?
No, I'm not counting on anything. I'm answering that question. They're telling, hold on, Jen. Let's keep the thing on the ball. They're saying, let's give Mulqueen an occupancy permit tomorrow.
Right.
We can't give him one tomorrow. You know why? Because we had a pipe burst.
But
So
you have an occupancy permit, so you can give him
Okay, we'll do.
If that's what he wants.
Oh, fine. We'll mail him the same one we give. Okay, if that's what you want us to do, absolutely. I'll bring it down to him tomorrow.
Waiting for the school committee to vote, it sounds like. because-
No, we're not. No. We're waiting for everything to be done, handing it back over to the district, and them opening the school up. What I'm waiting for is, hopefully on Monday, we send a letter to the school committee and say, we want to work with you and start occupying that building in any way. We have 5 containers out in the front building, right? We have 5 containers that were filled with stuff. Do they go on the 3rd floor, the 4th floor, things that are already done? Let's start cleaning the building. We're paying for janitors, right, that are up there. What are they doing? Are they cleaning the building, or are they just opening the doors for the contractors, right? Start getting the building ready on the floors that are already done, and start working together. Then we're going to hand the building back over to you, and you're going to open. For some strange reason, if he does not want to open the building, we're going to ask the school committee to take a vote to end the emergency.
So you feel confident that the superintendent, when you hand him that stuff, saying all this has been done, he's going to say, okay,
Yes.
this is what I'm asking, and I'm going to open it. And then if that doesn't happen, you're going to count on the school committee to vote to go against what the superintendent said.
I don't know. You're speculating. I don't know.
Is that what we come to?
Yes.
Good.
Yep, it could. It could come to a lot of things. But listen, he's asking for us to deliver a safe building.
We're going to do that.
And we're going to do that. That's the bottom line. He's asking us to deliver a safe building, and when we have that open meeting with the parents and the teachers and whomever else they want, right, we're going to have everybody up here, and we're going to secure everybody it's a safe building.
Okay. The lady was waiting.
My name is Lisa Meduzia, and I trying to get to that point. So I know you're going to provide us with a safe building, and then it's handed over to the superintendent and the school committee. My concern is that he's going to keep poking to do more things, and I want to know that the school committee has the power over him to open.
They do.
They do.
They do.
Thank you. That's all I.
They do. They have to vote that, but they do.
Yeah.
And I don't think, and honestly, I think if he's a intelligent man, and he's done a lot of good things for the district. And I can't see a superintendent who's leaving May 25th, okay, and moving to California would prevent our children from coming back into our elementary school when we hand him over a safe building. But a lot of things I've asked for, like that mini bike when I was a kid, I never got it. I still haven't got it, so I'm not sure.
Okay. Any other questions?
I have one more. So any time, like, I know maybe you can't give us a timeline, but any
No.
months we going on?
No, it's not months.
Tuesday's a big day. We'll know more then.
You don't see this going months. The water destruction. I know. I know. This poor guy's got. Listen, this poor guy's gotten beat up.
Same answer every week. So we have that plan for the abatement.
Right.
Hi, I just want to say, like, to build off of what Matt said about the timeline and on, I think it is insanely frustrating as I talk to other parents and friends in the district. I know it's been joked about, we have to go across the river now, kids are up early now. It's so much more than that. I know we want the kids to be safe, but, I mean, you're dealing with children thrive on routine, right? And they've been totally thrown off their routine.
Mm-hmm.
There's children with anxiety who are seriously suffering through this.
I would agree.
Instrument programs not being met. My son's, it's little things for kids. Like, my son's like, don't do student council anymore, and, staff meetings, staff are spread throughout the district, and all that's good. But then it's confusing as parents. I don't know if Mitch would agree. But when I sat here 2 weeks ago, I was really positive. And I reported back to friends who asked, did you go to Selectmen meeting? How was it? It seemed really positive. They said there was a few tiles. Hopefully the air test would come back great, which they did.
6 of them.
And I think at one point Gary even said, it's such a small area of flooring, and it's not where the kids are, active, that we could be replacing that, and the kids could be in the building while we replace that. That was how small it was.
Yep.
So you have to understand that it is insanely frustrating to then 2 days, 3 days later, get a report saying, here's all the great air quality tests, but by the way, we're not going back again.
We
No. Hold on. But hold on. Okay. So I agree with you, okay, because we got all our testing done. Then the district comes in and does their testing. And then all of a sudden, we're trying to reconcile. So we're going down a path, and all of a sudden, when we're telling you that information, that was the best information that we had at that time, and everything came back. See, and then everybody concentrated on, when we sent out the quality thing to the district, they concentrated on the other 2 pages. We're saying that you always have to, sometimes there are false negative. That's all industry type of stuff, right? And that's a disclaimer. But then everybody concentrated on that rather than what the real testing was, right? And then they got their own testing, and then the insurance company got their own testing. And then all of a sudden, what we gave you that meeting where it was all positive turned into this. Turned into, now we have to get an abatement company in there on Tuesday.
So after we had the HVAC project done, and after we had the lighting project done, I'm assuming at that time, Vulcan said, okay, everything looks good, the kids continue having.
He doesn't, yeah, that's not the way it goes, but I understand your point.
Can I say one thing? By its very nature, this is a West Newbury meeting, so there's generally one point of view here. I do feel a little uncomfortable that we're talking about Dr. Mulqueen without him being here to get this side of the story. And I think that's why it's important that we have, again, not being broken record, an open session where everyone's there to give their points of view.
Yep.
Because I think the current level of, conflict between the 2 sides isn't healthy. We need to resolve that. And we need to get to a point where we can agree on a sensible path forward. And if we can't do that after that session, I think we've all failed. So,
without a doubt,
I'd ask people to sort of hold their fire on blaming this person or that person, and let's just keep our eye on the big picture. Let's get
Question back here.
Aaron?
How will you communicate to us on Tuesday what the results of your building?
Put a release out, it'll be on our website, it'll be,
The meeting Tuesday, you may not have results.
it might be Wednesday.
We're going to give it to the town when we get it. So that's all we can say.
Like Andy said, I agree with 100%, and I think the sooner you can get that meeting together, to me, as a big combined group, is essential.
Well, that's what this meeting was really about. Voting to have that meeting. That's why we called this meeting. So we could vote to have that meeting.
My third question is, I think there's another agenda item too about the beautiful upholstery related items. Are we going to get to that at some point?
No.
No, not today.
Do you have any questions about it? I wish
I
you.
was wondering what it was. What is the issue?
I think that'll be addressed in that meeting, because also they will be there, and that was his issue.
Okay.
That gentleman.
Hi, Jack Foley. To help move this along and get buy-in for schools safe, the 3 main issues sounds like is the power issue, which is separate, the water damage issue, and the asbestos abatement issue. Those are the 3 buckets?
No, the water is but the abatement's worked in with the water. It's the same issue. It was a product of that.
Okay, so if you could get the authority having jurisdiction for each of those buckets or problems to give a letter saying, as the authority having jurisdiction.
It's the building inspector.
Hold on. We are. It is. The electrical one is already done. We've already done exactly that. Had the electrical inspector inspected, then the building inspector already signed off on that. That's already taken care of. That's already just what you said is already taken care of.
We hired an engineer to design a solution. We got a letter from the electrical inspector saying it's a temporary thing, as long as it's fixed before school starts next year. The school has made plans to take a few things off the generator so we don't have a problem. That's not even
The load, take the load down. So that's already taken care of.
And now I have another engineer doing the holes in the ceiling. And we got another company coming in and address each one of those specific issues is being addressed individually.
Okay. And all those things are going to be in place when we have that big meeting. There will be letters from this, from the fire chief, from everybody that's a safe building, it's done. And then those questions, well, what about those holes? They're still there. Well, and they're going to say, these are the codes, these are the reasons why we feel it's a safe building, so forth and so on.
Right. In my experience in commercial construction, the authority having jurisdiction is the final end all, say all, do all.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, there's a school, so the school committee does.
Okay, but the school committee, I believe, should be relying on the sign-offs from the authorities having jurisdiction.
You would think that.
Right. So this
I would hope
is
so.
a logical path forward. It's not.
Well, sometimes logic doesn't play out sometimes. I mean, it's the world that we live in.
So one more quick question. In the conflicting asbestos reports, what was the worst case report? I am not aware of the report that came back that says
There are some hot areas. If you get one room, there's a spot this big, this hot, well, the whole room's hot.
Meaning, are you testing mastic in different locations, or floor tile in different locations? Or
It's the mastic.
And 99% of it in the park was recently renovated. It's all new construction.
The office.
New remodeled construction.
The office.
So actually, there's only one small part in the original part that didn't have work done to it.
So these hot areas are areas that were impacted during this fixing the water damage, or unrelated?
Yeah.
You ready? You ready?
We had the floor.
We had the water. It's the office. The office. Okay. You know? Have you been in there? The new office. Not. I don't know how. It wasn't my office when my kids were there, but the new office. Okay. So those tiles, the new ones, were affected by the water damage. Okay. So when we're all standing there, the insurance adjuster says you should replace all these tiles, and we all said, "You sure?" Yes, they should be replaced. Okay. Then the general contractor tells his tile guy who was there, replace these. They use a machine to take those off. Okay. So when they're taking off the ones that we put down, the new ones that we put down, a couple of the ones underneath, the old ones that were all encapsulated, came up, okay? So then the job stopped because the old ones came up and the mastic on the old ones could have asbestos material on the mastic. That's what we're dealing with. And one spot was in the office, if I'm not mistaken. One spot, if you go in the office, there's a back conference room, that big room in the back. I think they use it as a conference room.
That was all part of the same room.
Okay, yeah. So that's what we're dealing with. Okay.
So what happened, I don't know if you remember before they renovated where the cafeteria was, the different color tiles on the floor. Well, that's why there's conflicting results. The red ones are hot and the other ones aren't.
And they could be next to each other.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's the weirdest thing.
So that
Let
this
him talk.
conflicting
Let him talk.
report thing is confined to the office area itself?
And one other area.
The main office area. In that other room across, there used to be two rooms. Well, that's going to be one room, but the room to the left that wasn't in the renovation, right there. And underneath where the old entrance where you used to come in, used to be a little handicap ramp, and underneath you come in the basement. Right as you come in there, all the water that leaked out ended up running out that door into a drain that's outside. Yeah. Those tiles started to lift, and that's never had anything done to them.
So does it make any sense to just say, let's just give in, cave in, and just abate the entire area that's impacted, the office and under the stairs by the old ramp?
We're gonna do what the guy tells us to do. Or woman, whatever.
But I'm hoping just to encapsulate everything but the area underneath the stairway, because it's like this thick and it's wet and it ain't gonna dry, so you gotta think that.
I don't think, we've been putting tiles down, we've been encapsulating that place in the summertime. We have.
The whole school over the years, used to be, I don't remember, there used to be carpet in that whole building.
Yeah, we've been taking out the carpet and been doing this, being proactive.
Well, we took all the carpet out, and that was actually kind of abate the hallways. And we started to abate, like an inch of the cement floor underneath is coming up with it, so we couldn't, so I had to just encapsulate.
We just encapsulated everything.
So, it's an old building, it's fine to have a major issue like we just had with that leak.
So you have to have an understanding, okay? So you walk in where the cafeteria is, right? Well, where the office is now, right? You take a left, you walk down the hallway, you go up those stairs, okay? And now you're up on the kindergarten, first grade, and they say second grade's there, but I thought I only saw first and kindergarten there, okay? Because the district keeps on telling me that there's second grade there, and I keep on saying no, because I've been in every single room, okay? There's a girls' bathroom in the hallway, and there's a boys' bathroom in the stairwell. You come around, right? And then you come around, it's only like a hallway. You go into a boys' bathroom. That's the boys' bathroom that a corner thing like that exploded, okay? Up in a hidden ceiling above, right? And it was blowing across, and it froze that. Then the fire sprinkler pump in the basement starts pumping and pumping and pumping. My son was on the call, okay? I think they got there in 8 or 9 minutes. The office, that floor, now you're talking about the floor below that, okay, had this much water in it, okay? So now you're talking about the cafeteria, well, in the office, in my day, it was a cafeteria. So the office, okay? So you come in the front door, right? You're looking at the building, you come in that front door, so he's talking about, so coming down that stairway, this much water in the office in that area, and then it went down the hall. Now you're going to the old entrance, down the hall, then taking a left, right? And then it goes down a little bit, and then there's a door underneath that old stairway, you know, the big, goes up to the front, and going out that door into a drain outside. That's how much water there was.
And it basically got in every room, so it gets into the room, you have that much water, then it hits the sheetrock and wakes up. It's all the insulation. 2 feet above all them rooms.
So that's, so the mold situation, okay, you come in, up the stairway, you take a right to go into that boys' bathroom, okay? That hallway, the boys' bathroom is like, entrance is right here. The hallway corner right there, this is the stairway here, the corner, there was mold around that big found. That's it. That's it. And everything, so you're talking about all these rooms, right? Downstairs and upstairs, right? Mostly downstairs. All the sheetrock was taken up because the sheetrock is like a sponge. So as soon as the water hits it there, it starts sucking it up. So you had to cut it all the way out, right? And then replace stuff so you could make sure. Then they put new sheetrock in, but then they put the sheetrock only to like that far. So if you ever get water on the floor, it won't suck it up, right? And then they have to put the cove on it. The original building, we had the director of the state health up there. The original building, right? No mold can grow on it. I never even understood that. The old plaster and brick and stuff like that, it's alkaline or stuff like that. The building is healthy, the old bones of the building. It's everything new we brought into the building. All the sheetrock and all that. That's the potential where you can get moisture and so forth and so on. To speak about what Aaron spoke about rugs and about bean bags and about you go into a room and there's 10 bean bags and there's rugs everywhere, and we want to make sure the health guy came in, and there's going to be a program, we're going to address that. We sent it to the district, we want to work with them. You know, these bean bags aren't fire rated, these rugs have been on the ground, they're not being cleaned properly, it's just people are worrying about health issues and stuff. He kind of said, you know, that's one of your bigger things you probably should take care of is the cleanliness of the building. So we're working with that because if the building's not maintained properly, which the district is supposed to be doing and paying for, they turn into capital projects 10 years down the line that we need to, and we don't even know they're being addressed. So my biggest point, another point out of this meeting, is go to the open budget hearing on Tuesday night and say, make sure you're not cutting janitors and maintenance for all of our buildings, because all you're doing is just making the towns a $5,000 maintenance thing is going to turn into a $50,000 capital improvement, and make sure all these classrooms and stuff are being cleaned. Sometimes you have to raise taxes. You want to make sure that we have enough teachers in the classroom, they get good wages, but you have to make sure too that we're taking care of our buildings. And I think that the first go around they cut janitors. And I understand their theory, like, we want to keep kids in the classroom, but we have to, I'm going Tuesday night to just say, please, don't take from somewhere else. You need to add maintenance, and a maintenance good program, and you have to keep janitors in the building so the rooms are being cleaned properly. So you have teachers are calling me saying that they're sweeping up and stuff afterwards and trying to do stuff for their kids so they come in.
A few years ago, we did the regional agreement over it, trying to separate the custodial and the maintenance of the building from the education part. So whenever we were trying to save money in the meat budget, they cut that out of the maintenance and save, or let that happen. First thing that's cut when they have that money is maintenance and custodial.
And we've been fighting this. I've been fighting.
The result is what's partly going on now.
Dick Cushing used to sit on this board. He used to be a selectman. I haven't been a selectman for, 3 or 4 years, maybe 6 years or something like that. I've been going down there, fighting that with him. That was one of his pet peeves. Been fighting that with him for years during the budget time. They've been, they zeroed out maintenance for the school. How do you do that? Because you know why? Because it's their budget, and they know if they don't have to pay the maintenance, it becomes a capital project, and then you have problems like this. That's all we're trying. If nothing else, we're trying the best.
Any other questions? Well, we hope this was a productive meeting, and as soon as we get the results on Tuesday, we'll put our next plan.
Well, I don't know if we're going to put the results out. I think what we should do is
We'll give you an update.
we should dissect the results and give you guys, I think you guys deserve a schedule, a plan.
Definitely a schedule.
You know what I mean? Finally. If we don't know then, I'm going to say, when are you going to know? You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Yep.
So you guys are
No,
gonna
we have to
talk
vote.
about that, maintenance issue at the open house?
Yes.
No, we don't have to.
No, the main, Jen, honestly, I prefer not to talk about the maintenance issue at the open house.
Recorded right now?
Yeah. Well, no, that's the thing we want to talk about, the maintenance issue. I said I'm going to go fight for it. I'm going to go. Hey, guys, we still have stuff to do, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, all right, thanks, Ray.
Are you gonna talk about that at the open house?
What's that?
Just what you were talking about at the end here, the maintenance.
No, you know why, Jen? I don't think we should. That's going to be a whole thing, because I think we should concentrate our efforts on getting the schools back in and not try to have another issue we try to have to address.
I hear that, but it is an issue, and I'm trying to decide, should I report on it now, or you're gonna talk about it with the superintendent and everything else? That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, so I honestly don't understand your question. Okay, so there are two things. I mean, this has been an ongoing thing about maintenance for our elementary schools.
During the start of the meeting was, we're gonna talk about that at the open house, and then you had a discussion at the end here. You were very remiss to bring it up, you said, I don't wanna say anything, and then you said.
Well, no,
Okay.
okay.
And then you had a discussion here, which I was recording, but I just wanna know, is there gonna be further discussion of that, or should I go ahead and proceed this?
Okay, you ready? There's two separate things that now we're talking about. What Aaron brought up was what was on our agenda, okay? And that was a letter from the Board of Health to the superintendent about certain bean bags and rugs and stuff like that. That aspect that's relevant, okay? And you can have a copy of that letter, okay? That's relevant. That portion's relevant, but then I went on about the maintenance issue. We should all go there. That's been an ongoing thing, not pursuant to this superintendent or the last one. It's been for 20 years that you've been all there with me fighting for maintenance. That I don't think should be brought up at the meeting.
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, what about the grant?
Oh, that's really for doing.
So we don't have to vote on it?
Yeah,
We're not approving
no,
it?
yeah, no.
Okay.
Not great.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Oh, we had communications on it.
Well, that was we're gonna have a meeting.
No.
What was that?
That was about communications, like the Board of Health sending a letter down there, us approving it, Archie getting it and making comments. But it's going to be about that whole communication plan. We can't have.
Whole communication